All right, so what is going on to everybody out there? Hope everybody is fine as you can possibly be. So, I'm going to talk about something that I know a lot of you out there, more than likely, you are probably not going to agree with me, and we are going to have that a lot in this life, but I'm just being honest with myself and I'm just being honest with how I see it because I am someone that I have always loved sound. I have always loved rhythm. I have always loved to know how these things were being created, where they were coming from, just the whole art in and of itself of music. And I personally do not think that anybody can, quote, learn how to make music. I don't think that it's possible. I don't think any one person can learn how to play music. I don't think there's any such thing as learning how to play music. It's music is something that comes from the very essence and soul of a person. It is something that you have a burning passion to do. You have a desire to buy a piece of equipment and dive into it and touch the pads and hear the sounds and manipulate and shape and mold them with the filters and envelopes and LFOs and sound effects. It's something that you do it because you really love it. I hear so many people out there today talking about, I want to learn how to play an instrument. And I just think that unless you have a desire for sound and music, what does that mean to learn how to play an instrument? If there's no feeling behind it, if there's no kind of your life being put into it, if it's not you expressing how you really see things or how you really feel, putting your very essence into that thing. The only thing that I think that we can learn to do is a craft. When you're talking about learning how to do something, yeah, you have to learn how to build a house. We have to learn how to do plumbing. We have to learn how to put electricity in a home. We have to learn how to put concrete wherever it goes for a walkway or how to build a couch, or, the basics of those things. But when you're talking about music in general, I don't even believe in like when people are telling people about learning chords and learning the guitar. You see, I don't really know about this too much because I don't get into that. I never made music to learn music. I made music because I love sound. I love rhythm. I love grooving. I love swing. I love expression in that way. And when you're talking about learning notes and learning chords and all this stuff, I'm telling you, it becomes a stale thing over time because how many times can you play the same chords over and over and over again? I'm not saying that there's a problem with chords. I'm just saying when you start thinking of, oh, I'm going to hit this chord and I'm going to play this note and that note, you're literally, if you're someone that does that, I think for myself that you're just setting yourself up to repeat things. You're not really going by a vibe. You're not really going by your essence of feeling the now, the present moment. This is just how I see it. This is how I see it as a person. And I say these things. I do not say these things to down people or to get people discouraged or to get people angry. I say it because there is another side to music that I don't really think that we understand. And I have done things that I know that other people have not done with music. I have experimented with things and I have found out things, very strange things about music that I haven't even talked about on this channel yet, like with tempos. I'm not going to get into details. I'm going to keep that to myself because I don't want to just spill the beans on everything that I know as a person and as a musician. But, and like the stuff that I've been putting out lately, this is just me experimenting with some new plugins and just picking drum kits real quick and just using those drum kits. This is not me getting sophisticated. This is not me actually picking the kicks and the snares and the hi-hats like I would with a synthesizer keyboard workstation. I'm someone I excel in using keyboard workstations. That's where I excel. If you give me a keyboard workstation that got a bunch of good sounds and it got a bunch of good drum kits and percussion elements and orchestral elements, I am going to make something. At whatever feeling somebody wants, I can make that feeling. That's just how I am with music because I love it that much and I've been doing it for so long. And I'm not saying this, I'm saying this to open your horizon in your mind to see music as I see music as like galaxies and ecosystems. You just don't realize that one piece of gear that you have, there is a literal ecosystem in there of melodies and ways that you can shape and mold a sound. You can layer sounds. You can put different sound effects on the sounds. There is so many different things that you can do with just one keyboard workstation. I'm telling you, I have done it with a Roland JDXI. I haven't even put out the music yet that I have on there. Don't ask me why I haven't. I put out a couple things, but hardly anything. And I still have it in my arsenal waiting to play it, because right now I don't have an audio interface to record into my phone to where it's playing stereo. And I don't want to put out mono beats because then whatever I have panned, you ain't going to hear that properly. You're just hearing the mono mixes right now that I'm doing. And that can't suffice with me. I got to be hearing my mix the way that it really sounds. And once I get a little bit of help from an audio interface, I get those preamps and a little bit of compression and stuff that I need to help with my sound, it'll be a lot better too. So I'm just using right now, I'm using an MPC-1 and I'm literally recording into the phone just through the MPC-1 with no preamps, no anything to help the sound. So that's why it doesn't sound as great. But I do my best and I'm literally mixing on a $10 Monkey Barrel speaker that I got off Amazon. That's what I'm mixing and mastering the little things that I'm doing right now, which I'm just experimenting right now. It's nothing serious. It's nothing that I know that I'm capable of doing as a sound designer and a music creator because I can do everything. I do cinematic stuff, I can do R&B, I can make sexy music, seductive music, I can make Indian music, I can make Bollywood music, I can make movie music, hip hop, industrial, techno, EDM, whatever genre people can think of, whatever a feeling people can think of, I can do that because that is what I have been putting my life into for all these years is that. And, I'm not saying this to brag and boast. It's just I love sound and I love rhythm and I love swing and groove and applying my own touch to things. And when I hear people talking about, I want to learn how to play an instrument, I wouldn't learn how to play an instrument. I've never learned how to play the keyboard. I've never learned an instrument. I would like to play an instrument. I would like to get myself maybe a violin, but I'm more of a keyboard guy. I like the keyboard and I like the violin because I think it would be more fitting for the shape of my body. I had trouble with using guitars for some reason. It just doesn't feel right using a guitar. It just doesn't feel comfortable. I would like to play a guitar, but it's not the end of the world if I don't. But the reason I don't like knowing what chords are, and I never learned how to play an instrument. If you told me to play a chord, I couldn't play a chord for you. But I can make beats and I can make instrumentals and I can make melodies and I can put my fingers on the keyboard and I can figure out the sounds that I want to hear that I'm perceiving in my mind. I can do that. That's where I'm a genius in that area. And it's like I said, when I'm by myself doing this, it might take time. I would probably drive another person insane if they sat there with me while I was making a beat because yes, it's very repetitive, but that's just how I do it. And I don't know of really too many people that do it like that. A lot of people they're already they're already thinking of the chords they wanna play, and they're already thinking of the genre, and they're already thinking of, "Oh, I wanna have, like, a Dr. Dre kind of whistle, or I want to have this thing or that thing." It's like, look, I don't see that as making real, down to earth, authentic music that you yourself vibe to because it's not like that. when you're making when you get on a drum machine or a synthesizer workstation or something, someone like me, I am like, well, right now I need a string sound or I need bells. I'm not thinking, oh, it needs to sound like this person or it needs to sound like this time in the era of music or it needs to sound like this genre or I need to pick this sound because somebody else used it. I never go by that. I always go by my gut feeling. I'm always going by my gut. I'm always going by what I hear in my head, what I'm feeling, what the vibe is. It's just there. And a lot of you, I think, have that, but you are hesitating. You're hesitating to turn the quantization off. You're hesitating to pick the sounds that you really want to use. You're hesitating on taking that leap of faith into your own craft, your own ability, your own techniques, your own. And you know what? I'm not even going to say techniques. I don't even believe in techniques. There is no such thing as techniques. I believe in a feeling. I believe in putting something down because you feel it. And those little mistakes you make while recording, that's what makes it what it is. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it human. And I just see everybody today. I don't even know if I want to say this because I might spill the beans on myself again, but I see everybody today quantizing music. Everybody is quantizing stuff. And I took a thing, I said, I'm not going to quantize most of my music. I quantize once in a blue moon. I do not quantize probably 99.9598% of the time. I don't quantize anymore. I said, I'm not going to quantize. I'm going to put my own feel, my own groove, my own vibe into it. And look, I know that I'm not a popular music channel right now. I know that I don't have a lot of people here listening to my stuff now because, like I said, right now I'm just kind of messing around. I'm just experimenting and throwing stuff out. The stuff that I've recorded years ago, I still got, with me in my arsenal. I haven't even put those things out yet. And some of them I don't have because unfortunately, because of a stupid decision that I made, because I was an idiot, I got rid of one of my keyboards, my Phantom '06 keyboard, which was a huge, huge mistake because I had stuff on there that was just absolutely amazing. I know it was amazing music, and I got rid of it. I had like 330 some, songs on there, patterns on there, orchestral, cinematic stuff on there that it's just crazy, like, and I never none of you ever got to hear this stuff, and I almost feel like I sold my soul getting rid of it because that's how it is with me, getting rid of my music and shit, man, and I've had drum machines and stuff that I made music on that only if you coulda heard it, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy, like, I don't even know how I made some of this stuff myself, and, unfortunately, a lot of the things I have had broke or I've get let somebody use and I never got it back, like, one time I never got it back, and then I had 3 other things break. I had 3 drum machines that I had that I made some pretty decent stuff on with just being a drum machine. I had the Akai XR20 that I made some crazy stuff on, and I still have that. I can still play those beats, but the volume thing and the outputs and inputs are messed up because I dropped it one time and it messed it up. And I usually don't drop my equipment because I take care of my stuff. I'm very frugal and I'm very careful with my stuff. I take care of my stuff. But and then I had a Boss Dr. Groove 202, and I had something called a Zoom SB246. And that little thing was a monster. It had 246 sounds and it was a beast. Like I can't even believe how good that little drum machine was. If you can ever get your hands on, it's called a Zoom Street Kangs, KANGZ SB 246. If you can get one of those, get it, and you'll be shocked at how good it is for a little machine. It only has one reverb, one compression. I think it has reverb, compression, and maybe delay. I don't know, but it has compression, reverb, and it has 246 sounds. It has like 24 synthesizer sounds that are, they're not too great, but they work. Like it has a string or two that you can actually use. Like I made some really nice stuff with it. Unfortunately, I never recorded it and I never put it out. And in this case right now, I have so much stuff that I want to put out, but it's like I haven't really figured out how I want to go with this, but I guess I just have to do whatever I got to do. But anyway, in all that, let me get back to what I was saying, but yeah, it's like the way that I see music is very different, I think, than a lot of other people see music because a lot of people, they will use a synthesizer that has drum kits and has all this potential and they'll go through it a couple times and they'll listen to the sounds and they'll make something and I'm like, "Listen, those sounds, you can go back to those time and time and time and time again." I have went back to the same sounds on the Roland JDXI and I have made some of the best stuff that I have ever made in my life on that little thing. So I know what is possible with these things. So I would say try, don't try at all. Don't try to learn to make music. Make a feeling. Tap the buttons and pick the sounds that you want to use. Pick the orchestral sounds, pick the bells, the strings, the hi-hats, the whistles, the one-shots, the reverbs, whatever you want to use, whatever feels right to your gut, use. You have to go with your gut. That's what makes you the authentic artist, the authentic music maker, the authentic sound designer. And that's another thing that I haven't even started yet is I am a sound designer. I am great at designing sounds. But unfortunately, like I said, I still got to put all this stuff out. It's like I don't even know what to do with a lot of the stuff that I have. I don't even know what to do with it. So that's why. And lately, these are just little things that I've been making just in a moment's notice. I just been picking the sounds and picking a drum kit and just doing whatever. Like it's nothing serious. It's just I'm just going through the newer Akai plugins, and if I'm being honest, yes, there are some really good sounds, but overall, they're not really specifically what I'm looking for. I haven't even found my sound yet, and I've been making music for like 22 years. 23 years I've been making music on drum machines and stuff, and I still haven't found my sound. I still haven't found a keyboard workstation that I'm like, this is for me besides the Roland JDXI. That keyboard, yes, I can make some decent stuff on that if I have to. And, I have other little things like a Korg Electribe 2 that I have beats on. I have really good beats on there. I got so much stuff, but I'm to the point where I need the big boy toys. I need the Moog Voyagers. I need the Phantoms, the Roland Phantoms. I need the Korg Kronos. I need the older Korg, Tritons. I need those keyboards. I need the things that I can have big capabilities on, that has good sound effects, that has good sounds, because when I have a sound that I really really like, that's when I will make my best stuff. Now, if it's a mediocre sound, I can still make stuff with mediocre sounds. If I think they're mediocre, I can still make it work. But the better the sound is, I know that I'm going to make something amazing. That's just how I feel about music. It's how I always felt about music. And all that I want to do is I want to inspire those of you out there who might not see music this way to see it differently, because there isn't just one way to see music. There is not just one way to make music or to comprehend music or to go about however you get into it, however you do it. There is a million different ways to make music. People just don't realize this. When you're talking about sound, you are literally talking about, like I said, you are literally talking about galaxies and ecosystems when you're talking about sounds. One keyboard synthesizer workstation that has percussion, drums, orchestral, choir sounds, synthesizers, lead sounds, sequence sounds, strings, everything. Listen, you just don't know what is capable with these things. But see, a lot of people today, they will use a sound and then they'll be like, oh, well, I used that sound. Now I'm not ever going to go back to that. Now, I'm not somebody that saves. I do not save drums. I do not save sounds. I always start from a new template every time. I start from scratch every single time. I don't save sounds. I only saved probably 2 sounds on the MPC since I've been using it, and I never even went back to them sounds. So, I always start a new slate, a new canvas every time, because that's where you can put all of you into the canvas. That's why a blank canvas is so amazing, because you can put all of you into the blank canvas. That's what it's meant to do. That's why it's something so extraordinary when you're someone like me, that you have this piece of gear and you have a blank slate to create anything you want to create. That to me is one of the most amazing feelings. It's one of the most amazing things. I can't even comprehend. I can't even make you understand what I mean if you don't know what I mean. It's just, How did it come about for me? I don't know. Everybody around me listened to music when I was younger, and I listened to all kinds of music. I didn't judge it. I listened to everything, everything possible. I listened to rock and roll. I listened to alternative rock. I listened to hip hop. I listened to polka music. I listened to R&B. I listened to country. I listened to everybody, anybody and everybody you can think of. Jay-Z. I listened to Phil Collins, Sadie, everyone. Everyone. There isn't probably one person that I have not listened to in this world. And in that, hearing all of that, I have this vocabulary where I'm not copying them, but I know music. I know music. I don't know. It's hard to describe. I just know what it is because I've listened to it from so many different people and different places throughout my family and people that I was around. So, anyway, y'all, I'm out of time. If you want to help support my channel, please, down in the description. Thanks for listening. It's all about the sound and music, y'all. Later.